ready, get ready, get ready. Push your foot up against mine. We gon' make it this time. Push your foot up against mine. We gon' make it this time. Push your foot up against mine. We gon' make it this time. Make it this time. Exercise anything you can. Just move, move, move. We gon' make it this time. No matter how many times we've tried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We gon' make it this time. We gon' make it this time. Hello, everybody. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our channel, Changes from Within. We're so glad you joined us and are following us on our weight loss journey. We're grateful for all the changes that are taking place in our spirit, our soul, and our body. I know we talk a lot about the mind, but I believe that before we can change our body, we must first change our mind. And so, when I first started doing my exercise, I was doing them in bed. And I think that that's a great thing, accomplishment, because I was dealing with this week, how that I was very vigilant with doing my exercise in bed and eating right. And, this is my third year. And I just want to talk about how that if you're doing something or you're waiting on something and it seems like a long time, and 3 years is not long compared to the length of time that I carried the weight on me, but I think sometimes I feel like that I deserve more. And what I mean by that is because, the hard work that I've put into it and the work that I put into it, period, sometimes it seems like that I should be further along. And I know I've said this on different tapes. And so what happens is when I feel like in my journey that I need to be further along, I have a tendency to complain. Complain, showing dissatisfaction because I feel like I should be doing this, that, and the other. I should be up by now. But guess what? I'm not up like I want to be up. And so when I was talking about exercise in bed, this video that I'm talking about, I was just thinking about my journey and where I have came from to where I am. I really have no reason to complain. I mean, I really have no reason to ever complain for the distance that God has brought me. I mean, I couldn't sleep at night. I was turning, tossing and turning. I would sleep at the bottom of the bed, the side of the bed. My pain was just so off the chain. And so, and I've said this before, is your pain, they ask you if you go to the hospital, is your pain from a 1 to 10, what is it? I don't know where they get the 10 from, really. Because if you're really in pain, it does not seem like 10. And I know 10 is maximum for them. But I find myself now, because I'm able to do more things, that I'm getting anxious and feeling like I need to be further along. I want to get out. I thought about, going out and doing some volunteer work. And then I said, well, Dorcas, you gave away your car. You don't have a car, And if you go out and do volunteer work, they're going to be looking for you to come. And sometimes when it's cloudy, your back is, you can't do certain things. And so, I go through these changes. And I know that change is inevitable when you're dealing with not only weight, but you're dealing with a disability. And it's just something to stay focused when you're having a lot of other different challenges. And I really don't deal with my disability until I can't do something. When I can't do something, that's when my mind kind of goes back and it's not settled. And I start fretting because of what I can't do. And then I start complaining. Um, and I'm telling you, I am so much further along in this journey of weight, coming from 400 pounds or so, and where I am now. And so people are saying, well, Dorcas, why don't you do a live video? And I have everything to do. I have all the equipment that I need to do a live video, and I am going to do a live video. I think that there's just some things about me, not think, I know that there's some things about me that I'm still not comfortable with. And one of the things that I'm not comfortable with is I'm not comfortable with walking. Um, and so as I'm on this journey, I'm finding out the different things that bother me as a person with a disability. And I was talking to somebody that had called me this morning, and I said, you know what? I have to deal with the reality and understand that my body is not the same, and I do have a spinal cord injury, and that's not to negate or to tell me, Dorcas, you need to stop doing what you're doing, because I'm not. And but I'm working on my health. I'm eating right and I'm exercising. I'm finding out that even before, I wouldn't even talk about depression because I just knew that I'm not depressed, or I have never been depressed. But that's really not true, because now that I look back to see where I came from, and just went on this binge of just eating mayonnaise sandwiches. And the girls were over here the other night, and I think I said this before. They were over here the other night, and so I was talking about my journey and stuff, and they were talking to me and stuff, and I was like, hey, you guys remember when I used to eat mayonnaise sandwiches? And they were like, yeah. They would come and spend the night with me. They're in college now and doing their own thing, and I'm grateful for them and what God is doing in their life. But when I look and see that every day since May the 26th, 2015, I haven't had a mayonnaise sandwich, and I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. I'm eating. My thing was that I just stopped completely, and I would just eat a mayonnaise sandwich. I was just eating to survive, and my body was just storing fat like crazy. But now I'm able to eat. When I get up in the morning and get myself ready, I'm going out there. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drink water, and I'm going to go have my breakfast. And I have nothing to complain about, because where I was in my mind mentally, oh, it was a really bad place. And no, I never felt like committing suicide, because I don't believe in suicide. And I never went to that place. But I just always felt despondent. I felt like my life is over. What am I going to do now? I got this disability. What if something happens to me? I'm here in Arizona. I don't want to be on my sister. And all these things just going through my mind. So as I begin to exercise, and I'm telling you, exercise works miracles for your mind. I'm not kidding. And not only for your mind, but for your body, because even with my spine the way it is, I'm telling you, if I have a lot of pain in my spine, and I do certain stretches that I didn't even know that I could do, and do certain stretches, I mean, it just helps my spine. And the exercising not only helps my spine and my back, but it helps my mind. And then, like at night, if I can't sleep, I'll just get up and do some exercise, and I'm telling you, I will sleep all night. So exercise is really good, and that's why I really advocate for people to take time to at least spend some time, if you can walk or if you can jog or if you could just do anything. And that's what my thing is, do what you can. And that's what push your foot up against mine mean. It means, just do what you can, and let's support each other, and go from there. And these are the things that we're talking about. People ask me, what does it mean to exercise in bed? I'm going to tell you. I lay on my back. I do stretches, like I said earlier, and then I created these balls, and I have beans in them. Might sound really crazy, but it's for the weight part of my exercising and me doing my hands, and I'm lifting my hands, and I do my fingers so that I don't become stiff, and I lay on my side, and I do things with my legs, and with I try to do I do sit-ups, and I just do different things in the bed that I'm capable of doing. My problem is this: I have problems standing. Ever since the accident, standing is something that is very difficult for me. Now, this is what I report. I report that I'm standing better than what I used to be able to stand. I couldn't stand to do hardly anything, but now I can stand if I have on the right shoes. And so there are times I have good mornings, and I can come out and go in my kitchen, and I can sweep the floor, and I can't stand for a long length of time, but the time that I can stand, I'm grateful for it. So exercising will do wonders in not only our mind, our mind, but it will help us physically. And so I'm just waiting to, not waiting, but I'm doing things in the house, and I'm walking more, and I'm being more active. And I mean, when I'm not laying in the bed all day. There was a time, even when I was eating my mayonnaise sandwiches, I would make my mayonnaise sandwiches, and I'd put them in a bag, and I would come back to the bed and eat them because my back was hurting me so bad. And there's so many times that I tell God, I said, God, I'm so tired of always talking about my back. In other words, my back seemed like it's controlling me. And these are things that I have to realize and really work on. And that's what I'm working on now, because there's so many things I want to do. And I have to always consider my disability, or are you going to be able to do it? I wanted to go to this picnic reunion this week, and I was like, Dorcas, are you going to be able to sit out in the park? You know, is there grass? And I just have to consider a lot of things. I just can't do things like I used to. Just say, yeah, I'm going to this reunion, but I'm not able to go. So when I get like that, then I start complaining. I really start complaining. And because I want what I used to have. But I have more than I've had in a long time. And that's what I want to say to you. A lot of times, maybe you don't have what you used to have. Or maybe you don't even have what you want to have. Maybe you never had what you want to have. And sometimes we will just start feeling sorry for ourselves, complaining, or just going through a whole lot of changes. You know, yesterday was really something. Well, it's really started Sunday. Sunday was just a day that I cannot believe. I mean, I got up, I got a phone call early that morning. My friend was in ICU. She was dying. And then after that, I was trying to get dressed to go to church, and I put on this outfit, and it didn't fit. It was too big, and oh my goodness, I was like, what am I going to wear? And so then after that, I finally got dressed, and I was sitting in the kitchen waiting on my ride to come. And so then when my ride finally came, my brother was out there talking about, Dorcas. I'm like, what? The gate won't open. And I was like, what does that mean? The gate won't open. And so then we went through our changes about the gate. And I told him, I said, hey, just go on. because just go on. Just go on to church. I'm not coming. And so he said, well, I'll go around to the other gate. And so he went around to the other gate, couldn't get in. And so then he came back and he said, you know, it ain't opening. And I said, well, that's fine. And so I kept telling him, just go on. I just didn't feel like going to church anyway because it was Father's Day. And that's really a day that, I don't know, I just go through changes because of my father. And Mother's Day, the same thing because of my mother. But so somebody came from the inside and they pulled the gate and the gate came open. And then here he come getting me. And so then he started talking about the gate. I don't know why, and I didn't know why either. And so we went on to church. And so by the time I got to church, before I got there, I went to pick up my prescription. And once I went to pick up my prescription, I found out, you know, how much it was costing. I put that back on the shelf. I don't want it. And because I wasn't going to pay for it, my mind, I just didn't want to deal with it. I could have paid for it, didn't want to. And so we're going, and then so I'm getting ready to take one of my medications, and I realized, you know what, Dorcas, you didn't get a water. And so I was like, oh man, I didn't get a water. I just take it with no water. And so finally we stopped and got the water, and then we got to church late. And anybody know anything about me, I don't like late. So anyway, we got to church late, and I go in there and I'm sitting down and I'm looking for my glasses, you know, and I keep my glasses on top of my head most of the time. And so I'm looking for them and I can't find them. So I was like, man, everything is going wrong this morning. And so I was just like, you know, you need to breathe, you know, just take it easy, Dorcas, just take it easy. Because I was just feeling so overwhelmed with little stuff. That is just little stuff, but it was just everything was hitting me all at once. And so then when my niece came back there and told me, you know, you're singing this morning, I said, my back has hurt me and I am not. I told her, I said, my back has hurt me. And she just laughed and turned and went on. And so I thought she heard me. And she did hear me. But when she got up there leading the service, she said, she told how the service was going to go because they were going to do a program for the fathers because it was Father's Day. It wasn't going to be a regular service. And then she called on one person and then she said, and now we're going to have my auntie sing a song. And I looked at her and she didn't hear what I said. That's what I'm saying in my mind. I told her that I wasn't singing this morning and I didn't feel like singing. But anyway, I went on and sung because, I mean, I couldn't be acting crazy in front of the whole church and tell her, didn't I tell you I wasn't singing? You know, I couldn't do that. So I had to just front it off. And I looked at her and she started laughing. And so then I sit there and I was trying to figure out what song am I going to sing? What am I going to sing? And I start singing, I Won't Complain. And that song goes, I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. And at the end of this taping, I'm going to be singing that song. I think it will help somebody. And so when I start singing, June, you know, he was playing for me. His name is Alvin Ben. But he was playing for me, and he can pull it out of me because he plays the organ and he hits certain keys and I just will sing, you know. And so it was really a blessing. And my sister, you know, my sister's, I don't know what to say about my sister because my sister really supports me and I really praise God for her. And if she know I need something, I want something or whatever, she's going to make sure that I get it. And so my sister Velma is outstanding, and I just praise God for King's Chapel and how they really support me. You're going to hear these people. They're going to just be acting like I'm really singing. But I really was singing from my heart because I said, I just was sitting there. I said, you got to stop complaining, and I'm complaining, just feeling like, they're doing things at my place where I live and just things. But, all the stuff that's going on in my life, whether it's the apartment complex, God has always taken care of me. And that's the thing that I have to understand. Money, I don't have to worry about money because God is the one that takes care of me. He is my source. And when I moved here to Arizona, I moved here with $66 because I had left my job and I was taking care of my parents. And so I moved here with $66 and a sister's love. I didn't even know where I was coming. I didn't even know where I was staying. My sister then picked out the apartment. So God was letting me know, have I not taken care of you all these years? 13 years. But where you reflect and where you go, you keep going back is you knew that you had your father there, that if anything would happen to you, that he would take care of you. So if something has happened in your life and you don't have maybe the support system that you used to have, and maybe you feel like, what am I going to do? When support systems are gone from us, we kind of feel helpless and hopeless. But I tell you this, and I'm getting ready to close. When I woke up this morning, I really said, I won't complain. I want you to listen to this song, and I hope you enjoy it. And I know this is probably a different kind of taping, but it's a message that if God has taken care of us yesterday, He'll take care of us the rest of the way. God bless you. I love you, and I hope you enjoy this song that I'm singing. I won't complain. I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I won't complain. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. Some sleepless all of my good with my bad days, I won't complain. so much for listening to our webcasting. And remember, this is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. If you would like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's Changes from Within at YouTube. You can also email us your comments, your questions at dorcaschandler at gmail.com. You be blessed. Bye-bye.